Welcome to another episode of Stuck in the Side Quest. We're back with our regularly scheduled programming. Back with more nerdy topics that y'all know and love. We're back to it. We're past the holidays. Thank God. Didn't like them anyways.
Wow. You don't like the holidays?
Oh, for some reason.
Today we are talking about one of the most iconic villains in today's zeitgeist. The black-clotted walking cyborg of your dreams.
Medea.
Zaddy Vader or Darth Vader.
Daddy Vader?
You gotta give it a second, Tyler. That was the fucking Zaddy Vader.
Oh.
It was a joke. But whatever. I thought that was Haley laughing.
God.
It started
Sounds
with
like
me.
it, doesn't it?
All right, people. We're talking about Vader, Darth Vader, aka Anakin Skywalker. We're gonna do a little bit of a deep dive. We do have to talk about Anakin if we're gonna talk about Darth Vader. I was like, oh, what should I do? And I was like, yeah, I gotta talk about it.
I mean, Anakin.
I'm going to give a
is my
little
bae.
bit of a timeline of Anakin to Darth Vader and all that stuff. Just for everybody's, how the years go in Star Wars, it's BBY, which is BBY and ADY.
Battle of Yavin.
ABY? Yeah, it's after the Battle of Yavin or before the Battle of Yavin. So, 42 years before the Battle of Yavin, Anakin was born via the Force. Kind of a Jesus thing. It is.
The chosen one.
He has no daddy.
Midichlorians.
Yeah, he was born by midichlorians, aka the Force, which I'll go into midichlorians. So don't worry if you don't know what that is.
I don't.
He doesn't have a dad.
Yeah, he doesn't have a daddy. And there's a theory that Palpatine did it, but it has been debunked. It's not canon that Palpatine made him through the Force. It was the Force made him. He was born on Tatooine with no daddy.
I always
this
thought.
one-
Oh yeah,
just comes up
the
pregnant.
Well, I wanted to just she was just like pregnant.
I thought it was
Mary.
Darth.
No, Plagueis did not do it. That's
Oh
it.
really?
That's
Okay,
it.
that's what I was wondering.
That's
No.
people who do theories, and that's non-canon. They've come out and said that it's strictly like the Force made Anakin.
Oh, okay.
And the Battle of Yavin, that's the battle where the first Death Star was. Get off your phone, Tyler.
I was.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him out.
Hold
That
on.
was
Do it.
Tyler. Keep
Do
it
it.
in. Keep it in. Don't cut it, Haley. Keep it in. This is how dedicated
I was
Tyler
trying to take a
is.
video of a little boy in the window. He was staring at me. And it was
Fuck that
kind of
ugly
creepy.
ass cat.
Hey.
That's going to be your cat.
Yeah, I
keeping
know.
all
I'm gonna
this
treat him
in.
like a stepchild. I'm kidding.
George's
I'm not gonna
gonna
treat
kick
the cat bad. But Battle of Yavin when Luke shot the proton torpedo into the first Death Star and blew it up. Just so if people don't realize what that is. Yep. See, there you go.
Okay.
All right.
I was going to ask earlier, but I didn't want to seem stupid.
32 BBY, which is fucking. The first one was 41. Oh, I can't do math. But that's when Anakin meets Qui-Gon, Padme, and Obi-Wan on Tatooine, and all that shit goes down in the first episode.
He was 9 years old.
The Battle of Naboo, and that's when he becomes a Padawan. And under Obi-Wan, because y'all know the story, Qui-Gon dies, yada, yada, yada.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
And then 23 BBY, the Clone Wars, that's when the Clone Wars start, and it becomes a Jedi Knight. He's no longer a Padawan. He gets married to Padme, secretly.
It's when the good shit starts happening.
The great acting.
And then 22, which is just a year later, that's Ahsoka. He starts training Ahsoka. She becomes a Padawan.
Hell
And
yeah.
I think she leaves a year later, I believe. I didn't write that down because it's not really like all that with Anakin. But 19 BBY is episode 3. That's
The
3
best
years.
one.
Yeah, that's when he becomes a Sith. It becomes the Daddy Vader we all know and love.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
0, it's the Battle of Yavin, like I explained before. And then 3 ABY is the Battle of Hoth, and that's where you see Darth Vader on Hoth, just walking through, trying to get to Han, Leia, and Luke. And that's when they attack the base on, trying to stamp out the rebels.
The Rebel Alliance.
And then 4 ABY, just a year later, that's the Battle of Endor. And finally, fulfilled the prophecy that was foretold. So he becomes a good person again. But he's done a lot of bad shit in between that. So take that as you will.
Redeeming qualities. Okay, so how many years are there between A New Hope and the last prequel? You said 14 years?
It starts in, I don't know how to do math, 41 BBY, so that's 41, like 45. It's 45 years. From
45.
1 to 6. It's 41 years.
What? You
45 years. My bad.
A New Hope. What are you talking about?
Prequels
When,
to
when
the
he
end.
becomes Darth Vader, basically.
To when he dies?
No,
to A New Hope.
To A New Hope.
Oh, then that's
From 3 to
that's
4.
got to be like 30 something years, 35 to 40 something or other. I can't do the math right now, but
So he's a middle-aged
Okay.
man by then.
yeah.
I thought
But-
it was shorter than that because like I thought
I'm
Luke's
still
just, like-
confused.
she's talking about from when he becomes Vader and
In 3.
in 3
The
to
time-
A New Hope.
Yeah, that's not 40 years.
No, I know that. That's what I was
Oh
about
yeah,
to say.
no,
It had to be
no.
like
That's
20 years. If
That's-
that.
what's 41 minus 19.
21 years.
There you go,
22.
Or-
close enough. 22 years.
22 years.
Well, that
22
still
years.
would put him in like his 30s or 40s.
Who?
Vader.
Vader.
No, yeah,
No.
he's like late 20s.
Not
When
at
he
that
turns
point.
when he turns into Vader, right?
Whatever, who cares?
I'm confused.
Thanks for the question.
How-
He's
the real
like in his
question-
20s. He's in his 20s.
The real question is if there's 22 years between the third and the fourth, how old was he when he became Darth Vader? And then you can add the 22 years to that.
It's not a
Yeah.
conflict. He's right here. It's like 41 to 22.
Yeah, but we were trying to find
So
out
he's
how
like 20
old
something
he
years old.
was.
He's 20 something years old.
And so he's probably like 40.
When he becomes
40.
Vader.
Yeah, he's in his.
He's probably
So
in
he's
his,
in his 40s. Okay.
yeah.
When he's
We'll
Darth
just go with
Vader?
it.
No, not
no,
when he
he's
becomes
in
Darth
his
Vader.
40s
No.
when he meets Luke,
Yes,
basically.
yes.
At A New Hope, he would be in his 40s.
Yes,
there we go.
that's where I'm getting at.
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, y'all.
Jeez.
I'm keeping
so
it interesting
confused.
with the math
Trevor
question.
said,
we
It's
were
like-
on the same
I don't know
thing
what the
here.
fuck I'm talking about.
Trevor said 41 years. And I'm like, Darth Vader is not
No,
60 something
I
years
was,
old.
I was doing the whole timeline from when he died. and shit.
He's
Whatever.
just this 90-year-old man at the end of things.
Luke, I am your grandfather.
He looked rough for a 44, for a 40-year-old.
I mean,
Motherfucker.
I'm going to get into it, but there's a reason why he looks rough.
Yeah.
Like I said before, he was fathered by the Force, so he has no daddy.
No.
That's why he's got
other
so
than the
many.
Force.
That's why he got all them issues.
But
Ain't
Got
no,
daddy
Ain't no
issues.
hood harder than fatherhood.
when he was
Boy.
found,
Jeez.
they did a blood test for metachlorine. Just a little backstory on metachlorines. If I'm saying that right, I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Medi-
saying
Midichlorians.
Midichlorians.
Metachlorians, whatever. It's an intelligent microscopic life form that lives symbiotic in your cells, or their cells, whatever, that universe's cells. And if they have enough of these metachlorians, somebody's gonna fucking.
So it's
hate
like
me.
the Holy Spirit. Like when the Holy Spirit enters you.
Pretty much, yeah.
That is the Force.
Yeah, and if you have enough of it, you can manipulate the Force.
It lives
And
within you.
That's all the
Or-
powers they have and everything.
It's
all
like
that.
the higher it is, the more powerful you are in the Force.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Or connection.
But it's not like Dragon Ball Z level, like
Super
power
Saiyan.
level. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that goes into
So
it.
you could have a little bit of it and not become a
Oh yeah,
Jedi.
I
I've
think
got
everybody's got some, but it's just like
I've got a whole chart. We'll go over it.
Get into
But
the chart then.
the average human. This is not the same for all of race. Like the Jabba the Hutt. The Hutts have a shit ton. They have like a lot. I don't know how much because I didn't research it, but they have a lot. I know they have a lot
Imagine
more
a
than other
Hutt
people.
Jedi. That'd be scary.
But-
hold on, I'm gonna get you. Let me slither on over there.
Yeah.
And like
Gross.
I was like looking it up, and people were like, "That's not a power level because if that was the case, then you would just need to get fat, and then you'd be very powerful because it's based on how many cells. It's kind of like this is what per cell, so this is kind of like your range of your force ability.
Shit, if that was the case, I'd be real powerful.
The average human has 2,500 metachlorians in each cell. Anakin has 27,000, so 10 times as much.
Okay.
In
Jeez.
each
That
cell.
makes him powerful.
Very powerful. And just to give you like a few people and what they have, Yoda has 19,000. Luke and Leia both have 23,000.
Damn.
And that shows you, like, even though Leia has it,
Like
you know, she does have
chromosomes.
Force stuff. She's not, like, as in tune with it as Luke. It's also
I
training.
think it's all about your training.
Training,
because
and then lightsaber skills and all that goes into it, too.
nunchuck skills.
You can describe this like the Holy Spirit all the way through so far.
I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, it's a religion. Jedi is a
Basically.
religion.
Yeah, isn't it like actually a religion?
I
Like,
mean,
it's
in real
like-
life, yeah, it is. Obi-Wan had 17,000. Palpatine had 20,000. Is there any more? Like,
So
and, like,
Palpatine had less than Luke and Leia?
yeah. Qui-Gon had like 10,000. Ahsoka has like 13,000.
That's why his ass got
It looks like the
Fuck on.
average, like, Jedi Knight has, and like even Sith, it's about 12,000. That's about the mean. Like, this dude put a whole fucking chart, made a whole chart of this shit.
You got Darth Maul in there?
He got charts and everything. Like,
You can cut Darth Maul's in half.
yeah, Darth Maul's in there. He's down. He's pretty low though.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's 12,000.
He's got more than Qui-Gon.
They got
That's why he beat
6,000.
him.
He's
They get-
6,000.
They got Bastila on here from
What the hell?
Nice.
the
Old
Old
Republic?
Yeah, where's she at? She's got 10,000.
I feel like Bastila would have more.
But
That's
they
sorry, bitch.
they do a blood test. That's how they. And by the way, George Lucas came up with this for the first episode, not
Yeah.
4, 5, and 6. This was the thing he came up with later on. There's Yaddle, the female fucking.
Yeah, Yoda.
She's got 11,000. She ain't that powerful. She ain't no Yoda. I'll tell you that.
Is there a picture of her?
Yaddle,
She looks
Yaddle?
kinda weird.
She looks like Yoda with long hair.
She's in the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like fucked up. She's also a puppet.
Yeah.
God.
I don't know what happened to her, honestly.
Didn't
She
Jim-
died. Oh God, I saw
They got
it
Kyle
somewhere.
Katarn on here.
Oh, really?
She
Yeah, he's got
died
about 13.
protecting someone.
No, 14,000.
Was that Jim Henson that helped do the puppeteering on Star Wars, or was it somebody else?
I mean, they just gave Yoda like
Oh
a
yeah.
regular
Is that
long
the
haircut.
actual? Yeah,
Because
that's.
wouldn't
yeah.
that make them a Muppet?
Well, for 4 through 6, they were a puppet, and then
I
he wasn't a
mean,
puppet in the
Muppet.
first one, was he?
I don't remember.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, he was.
He was a puppet in the
He
first
was,
one,
yeah.
and then
Full
Attack of the
CGI
Clones.
and yeah, those
Attack
two.
of the Clones.
But do y'all want to start? Basically, we're gonna start when Anakin's descent into the dark side, or when this all started. Starts when he first became a Jedi, when he first became a Padawan at 9 years old. Palpatine has a lot to do with what he did, and this man definitely groomed this child to manipulate him and put him a part of the master plan. Like, when Anakin came to Coruscant and Palpatine saw him, he immediately started doing what he needed to do to get to Anakin and start pretty much,
Brainwashing.
yeah, and like Anakin didn't have a father figure. So Palpatine stepped in and kind of manipulated himself to be the father figure in his
I'm
life.
your daddy.
Obi-Wan was more of a brother than a father figure. Because, I mean, even they say it all the time that they were brothers
You
and
were my
stuff. And I
brother,
think that's
Anakin.
more of the relationship they had.
I
Like,
loved you.
Obi-Wan was like the older
I will
brother.
do what I must.
And so Palpatine let Obi-Wan train him in the Force. Let Obi-Wan do all the dirty work. Because Anakin was older than they like when younglings start training. So they honestly didn't want to take him because they thought he was too old. But
More vulnerable. To the dark side.
Qui-Gon rest his case and thought Anakin was the chosen one. The chosen prophecy was supposed to end the Sith and bring back the light or whatever.
Balance to the force.
Well,
Yeah,
so
bring balance to the Force.
are there potentially like kids out there who are just too old to train, like that are
Yeah.
force
Yep.
powerful?
Yeah.
There's no use in you.
It's not the fact
Don't
that
even
they
think
were
about
too
it.
old to train. It's the fact that the Jedi didn't want to train them
Yeah.
because that they were more if you don't get to them younger, the more vulnerable they are to the dark side.
Yeah, and the harder they are to train in certain things, like for their mind, to mold
If a
their
kid-
mind to be able to
So is that
control
why
Force.
it's a big deal that Luke was getting trained because he was older?
Yeah,
than...
he was very old. That's
Okay.
He didn't. Yoda didn't want to train him either.
It's kind of fucked up. You almost kind of look at it as like indoctrination. Like you want to get
I mean,
them
it
so
is.
young so that you can groom them
Well,
into
yeah,
being
I
what
mean,
you want them
As
to be.
I've gotten
Groom
older,
them.
the Jedi Code is kind of shit.
It is.
In all honesty, I don't think the Jedi
Let's
Code's all that
collect
great.
children
Yeah, pretty much.
and tell them.
they can't love nobody. They can't do anything. They have to do this one strict thing, and that's
The
like
cult.
Luke's whole thing. Which we're on Darth Vader, but Luke's whole thing was like, no, you can have these connections. This is why I was able to do what I could because of my love for my friends.
Well, this is how I'm going to draw it in polygamy. So, I'm just kidding.
But on the other end of that, it's also is what made Anakin go to the dark side. But we'll get there. So,
So Luke was just as susceptible to being on the dark
Yeah.
side because he was older.
yeah, and I mean, if it just depends on what shitty people are around. Anakin was around Palpatine, which was a evil Dark Lord wizard.
That's
who
a good
had,
way of putting it.
Who had a grand master plan of taking over the galaxy, and Anakin just was sitting there, and that's the most powerful being in the Force in the galaxy that people know, and Palpatine took advantage of him. Palpatine basically, like, Anakin was bullied because he was older, and there was a lot of people who were like, he's not ready, and Jedi talking shit about him, because some of these Jedi were actually kind of shitty people.
Yeah.
Most of them.
What was his name?
They would bully him, and I know who you're talking about.
Kid Mundi.
Yeah.
Conehead.
But it was other people. It was like, he's not ready. He doesn't know how to control his emotions. And they would, like, pick on him. And Anakin was kind of isolated. He didn't really have anybody other than Obi-Wan. And that's Palpatine, his little fucking snake, slipped in. And,
He knew what he was doing.
yeah, and he would... Anakin wanted nothing but validation because it's, like, daddy issues. And he just wanted to be validated and stuff like that. And that's what Palpatine would do. And it was all grooming just to make him... And, like, it came to a point where Anakin trusts this man because he grew up seeing this man as, like, his father figure and everything. So he started, like, telling secrets to him and stuff like that. So, well, I mean, we'll get into it. I should have, like, fucking bullet pointed this nasty-ass paragraph with all these red lines.
Brings us to an ad from Grammarly.
I also looked up the puppeteering thing, and it is not by Jim Henson, so I just wanted to put
It's
that
Frank
back out there.
Oz.
Yeah. So that does not make Yoda a Muppet.
But with Palpatine manipulating, the Jedi were also kind of at fault because their bullying and stuff also pushed Anakin towards Palpatine. They pretty much just helped Palpatine do what he needed to do. And Palpatine had this mask on that he was like this good, kind leader who was part of like the free democracy of the Senate and stuff like that. So yeah, Palpatine is definitely the like worst guy and he's evil, but Jedi did not help it with how they treated their younglings and how they treated Anakin and stuff like
So
that.
the lesson is be nice to everybody or they become Darth Vader.
And then like when he started getting older, Palpatine would do like sketchy stuff with Anakin to make him do stuff like against the Jedi code and to keep it a secret. I have one example where Palpatine took Anakin to a seedy bar, like a crappy bar,
Took him to a strip club.
and a senator was there gambling, and Palpatine pretty much made Anakin use the Force to make that guy lose, which that's not the Jedi way.
Right.
So,
That's cheating.
and
He
then
touched me.
on top of that, they have this secret now. So now they're growing closer and bonding because they have secrets that is for them together.
I think you really manipulate someone, you know.
Daddy.
And
Daddy wasn't there.
so Anakin eventually was feeling grief and pain because he left his mother on Tatooine as a slave. So, he went, this is episode 2, he went to find her on Tatooine, heard that she got bought by whatever his face is.
Lars.
Yes, Lars. But ended up getting kidnapped by Tusken Raiders. And then that's when Anakin found her, and she died in Anakin's arms. And this was the first, pivotal point where he, gave into his anger, gave into the dark side, and murdered a whole camp, including the women and children.
Wiped him off the map.
Yeah, he fucking went ham. He was an
It's me when I get
he was an
angry.
absolute unit in that camp,
Slice and dice.
slaughtering those kids. So,
Man, KD ratio went. Whoa.
And there's fan theories, which there's going to be theories like non-canon, canon, and fan theories. There's theories that Palpatine set it all up, which makes sense because he was manipulating him the whole time. And if I kind of believe that he probably had a hand in it, was like he could have easily made some shady deal, help the Tuskens get his mom, and knew Anakin would go try to find her, and there'd be like a moment.
Right, all part of Palpatine's plan.
Yeah, and then like Anakin shared what he did to the Tusken Raiders with Palpatine. So that's another secret, a very big dark secret that Anakin did. And so not only are they bonding over these secrets, but now Palpatine has something against Anakin where he can be like, well, I can tell them Jedis what you did to those kids. You fucked them up.
Please don't do it.
There's one thing about Anakin, he's not afraid of
Yeah, he's not afraid of killing kids.
children.
It's not that far killing
Master
youngins.
Skywalker. What are we gonna do?
So
You know what's really funny? If like he started to mow those kids down, and then that one kid comes out behind the chair and just like chops his legs off. Yeah,
Runs up and stabs him. Oh, you little shit! And just,
yeah. And then he ends up killing all the kids still. But then it shows him going through there, and two clones just have him by the arms, just carrying him. And he's just like,
Imagine being the clones watching. Oh God! Oh my God! He's just in there slaughtering
they
these
had
kids.
fucking drugs pumped into their head with
Yeah,
that
yeah,
whole
right.
chip stuff
Chip.
or whatever it is.
Yeah, them chips went off.
You don't know what they put in that chip?
must follow
Some meth.
order.
Just about some methed up.
That's why they
Just
didn't.
tweaking
That's
out of their
messed
mind.
That's why they didn't keep him after when.
Pump so much into their head, they're like, "Oh, we got."
Then they stopped, and they all started having withdrawals, and they were like,
And that's why they died so quickly?
"Yeah, we're like,
Makes
we can't keep getting meth for these stormtroopers.
Yeah.
This crap's getting
It's
expensive."
getting expensive. The Hutts are banking off of it. That's a whole conspiracy theory. I guarantee you. There's just,
With meth involved.
with meth, or space meth.
Order 66 could only happen one time, and after it ran out, it was like, well we're done with them.
So
There were multiple orders.
Jesse.
I watched a video.
Jesse, we're going to need more.
you need to AI generate Heisenberg as Sith. It's probably out there. Somebody's already done it. I know they have.
I watched this side note, but I watched a video on all the different orders that the clones had.
Yeah, what the fuck is the 65 before 66?
There's a couple of them. I can only really remember a couple of them, but there's one that's like they made if the Emperor like goes off the path of what they were doing or what the whole plan was, someone could activate that one order and the clones would turn on the Emperor and kill him, and the next person would come up.
That seems like a bad fail-safe.
I wonder if they have like an order that you could be like,
I think we need to delete. He leans back on his desk and accidentally hits the like full call button. I think we need to delete Order 55. And all the clones just turn around.
Oh my god!
No, cancel that. Cancel that. Order 66. Order 66.
I was about to say, what if there's like an order to where you can be like, execute order 34, and all of the clones shit themselves simultaneously?
Anakin, you want to see something funny? Execute Order 43. Yeah. And they're all like,
That'd be great. I'd love to see that. Somebody should make a robot chicken with that.
you want to see Order 69? No, Master.
Please, no.
Don't make
Oh
me.
god, no.
Don't make me see it.
All right, so now Anakin super strong in the Force. He's been training. He's like one of the best generals there. Like everybody, he even like made a name for himself as like this hero as he was going through the Clone Wars and everything. But he starts having visions of Padme dying, the love of his life, the woman he fell in love with at 9 years old.
He fell in love with that coochie.
Are
Yeah.
you an angel?
Oh, God.
And I'm pretty sure around this time she's also pregnant. Like she found out she was pregnant and stuff. So he also had this kids on his mind.
They've been doing the do.
Yeah, and he's like one of the most powerful Jedi in the world. So he has to think that with all my power, because he has the arrogance and stuff and ego, that he has to be able to save his wife, being the most powerful, one of the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy. So that's when Anakin slowly, like, lets Palpatine know this, and Palpatine, feeds him. This is when he feeds him that, he's like, not from a Jedi.
Yeah.
So that's when Anakin's like, oh shit, this man's a Sith. The dark
Yeah.
side of the Force? And
Bro, when he finds out too, though, like, I mean, I know this is
he
in the
runs
movie.
to Mace Windu. He does the right thing.
Yeah.
Mace Windu left him behind. Maybe not the best idea. Maybe the good idea. Maybe if he would have took him with him, they could have done it together. Or the same thing would have played out. We don't know.
Poor Kid Fisker.
But
And the rest of them, I guess.
so Anakin ends up going there. And this is all episode 3. A lot of y'all might know this, but some people might not. Anakin like catches up to them, and that's when they're in like that battle, and like Mace Windu's blocking the lightning and everything. He's like, I need him. So he strikes down Mace Windu, and that's probably the point. That's the turning point when he.
Oh yeah.
That's when he went dark, because that's what have I done?
Did y'all see that TikTok of it was when Anakin becomes a Force ghost, and
Mace
Windu staring at him, and it's what's his name? It's Samuel Jackson from that movie
Monster, I think.
when he's got the white tank top on, the
Yeah,
crazy
it's
eyes, and the
Monster.
long hair, and he's like, "This is Mace Windu looking at Anakin in the Force heaven or whatever."
Is Mace Windu dead? We don't know, but he did this act that was pretty much, he was like, there's no turning back. Palpatine's the only person I know that could teach me how to keep Padme alive, and Palpatine knows that. Manipulate him the whole time. Palpatine knows what he's doing. He's a smart man. He got the grand master plan.
Do it.
Yeah, that's also a part of it. That's also a turning point I forgot to add, when he kills Count Dooku, too. Because that's part of Palpatine.
Yeah,
It's
that
not the
was kind of
Jedi
a-
way.
He pretty much eliminated Palpatine's apprentice, or the guy that was under him. So now the job promotion is there.
Yeah, you got to
The
stick to the
vacancy
rule
is
of
there.
2.
Yeah. So
Have we thought about what was going? So Count Dooku knew that Palpatine was.
yeah,
Yeah. What was going through Count Dooku's head when he was like
I mean,
standing there with no hands and was like, "Bruh."
he was betrayed. Yeah, he's like, man, fuck this.
Oh, bro,
man."
I would have ratted out right. Hey, hold on, no.
I have information. He's got his two little nubs. I have information.
And we could do an episode on Dooku, I think, because there's enough
That'd
about
be a
him.
good episode.
Because he wasn't even necessarily like, I wouldn't say like Sith. He didn't get the discoloration and all that stuff, and like the eyes.
He was just a
He was
fallen
like
Jedi.
super powerful too, though. Wasn't
yeah. He didn't like the Jedi Order was corrupt, and he knew it, and he didn't like it.
But that's what I'm saying. He was more of just
He
a
said, "I
fallen
ain't
He was
Jedi.
gonna
like
be
a
part of this
neutral.
cult."
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he followed like one of the most evil wizards in the galaxy, but you know.
He had a cool lightsaber
Whatever.
hilt. I
Yeah.
always liked his.
Yeah, I saw TikToks about why that's like a better fighting thing too.
What's her name from the Clone Wars?
Ventress.
Ventress has
Yeah.
two of them. That's cool.
Well,
Her
she
meta-
was
her
Dooku's
metachlorians are on
apprentice.
here.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
She's got 11,000 metachlorians.
Who? Ventress?
Ventress.
Yeah.
She definitely had the discoloration.
I think that's just because of her.
No,
She was
that's-
an alien.
Yeah.
No, it's because she's from Dathomir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the Night Sister, pretty much. Oh, that's when he gets the name Darth Vader. He becomes Palpatine's apprentice.
Lord Vader.
And that's when Palpatine sends him, driving him deeper into the dark side. He made him do all these horrible acts, like go fuck up the Jedi Temple.
I mean, immediately. Like,
Yeah, including the younglings. He murdered kids. You can't really come back from murdering kids.
Isn't
I
like
guess he
Darth
did,
Vader
but-
like Dark Father or something? Like, isn't there something behind that?
I don't know.
Vader
I'm gonna
means
look it up.
father in German, I think.
Was Darth? So
Probably Dark Father.
That's what I was thinking.
Sounds.
Dark Daddy.
That's what I'm gonna call him from now on.
We have a new contestant in the
And I do
ring in
feel like-
WWE. Dark Daddy.
with Anakin, which semi-slowly, not really slowly, but with him killing the Jedi, that was also... Because people treat Darth Vader like... I don't know what y'all think, but do y'all think Darth Vader and Anakin are two separate people?
I think
you
he
feel
becomes,
like they are?
Yeah, I do, but that's because I think, and not just to piggyback off of like the Obi-Wan show and stuff. I think Anakin does die and he becomes Vader.
Yeah,
Like,
but he still
officially.
mourns. He still mourns for Padme, and I still feel like he's Anakin. He's just
Emo.
The best kind of emo.
Yeah.
because I played that Vader Immortal. I only have the first episode on the Oculus, and the whole thing about that is they're on Mustafar He's trying to. There's a whole thing. Mustafar used to be like a flourishing planet, and with like trees and everything, and then something happened, and like basically hell rose out of the ground, and it just became a
Hellscape.
yeah. But the people that lived up top ended up going down and living in the caves and stuff, and they have supposedly a power to resurrect the dead, and he's doing this whole thing trying to resurrect Padme.
That sick bastard.
How do you think Padme feels about all this?
Well, she's dead.
Who?
So.
Who?
Did I say it wrong?
What'd you say?
Padme?
We're all
You
gonna
said
say
it
stuff
different.
wrong.
You said Padme.
Did I say Padme?
Yeah,
Padme.
Padme.
Were y'all
It's
going to say
Padme.
something about what y'all think if Darth Vader's two different people? I'm just wondering what y'all...
I was gonna say yes, but Tyler made me second guess it because he does still mourn Padme. I almost said it too.
Padme?
He does
Padme.
mourn Padme, but also just how he dies and like.
That's her lady product line. Pad.
But just how he dies and doesn't kill Luke at the end, I think Anakin's still in there.
Yeah, and that's kind of... I think that's why he's such a good villain, because there's such a complexity to him. Like, yeah, they are kind of two different people, but they aren't. It's like the mental aspect of what he's going through. Like, mentally, he had to kill Anakin to keep doing what he had to do. I
Just
feel like.
think of when you are at your maddest, like super mad, blackout mad, like
Well, that's how he had to live
Just-
with it. Like, I killed that part of me.
Darth Vader, but he's just stuck.
I was going to say he's like that for years.
Yeah.
And then he finally comes out of it at the end when he redeems himself with Luke.
Anakin comes back up. He is one person, but that's two different. That's like the light and the dark fighting within one's own self. And I think that's like the complexity of Darth Vader, and that's why everybody, loves him, and he's such a good, complex character. He's not just like surface level evil guy. He's got a shit ton of stuff going on in his head,
Yeah.
to the point where he has to make two different people to differentiate everything.
Yeah, he's so complex because he knows that Luke and Leia are his last bits of Padme that he'll ever have.
And I was going to say this later, but there's a part where you kind of... It's in the comics, and it's non-canon, canon. I feel like this could be canon, but in his meditation chamber, it shows him like meditating and kind of like what he sees. And it's basically just like this dark red and like lightning storm is going on, and he's like floating above an ocean that's raging. That's also kind of like a red color. But there's his body, like his torso and his head are just black with like a red aura, but his limbs are white with like a blue aura. And there's like these little creatures. They pretty much look like butterflies or like little bugs that are floating around him in this raging storm and stuff, and they're blue they're white with the blue aura. So it's like there's still that good inside of him, but right now he's like Darth Vader.
I mean, think about when you grieve about something, you do change as a person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whereas he went completely total evil for the story's sake, I mean, he still had feelings.
I think in something with Vader, which is kind of cool that you notice, is like, to me, Anakin Vader, he's always doing stuff for his own intentions. Like, it's not like he's just too totally dark when it comes to this and that. Like, Vader has an end game for everything. he's doing all this stuff for his own stuff versus like he's just doing it for Palpatine or he's just doing it for this person. You know what I mean?
And we'll get into, because like when he gets the suit and everything happens, there's a whole bunch of other shit that happens. Yeah, there it is.
That's cool.
Yeah,
And then-
you see the things flying around.
Yeah.
Tyler
Which
save it.
we'll try to post this so
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
can
you
see
should
it.
post
Hopefully
that
it's not
picture.
stealing too much.
And then that whole story right there where he goes, and it's
God damn, you ain't got to zoom in that much.
he goes in to I don't know what it is. I don't really know the whole story, but he goes into something and he leaves like his body behind, and it's just the dark side of the Force in him, and he's that, and like it's pretty intense, and it's just showing.
It's kind of dope. That'd be a dope tattoo.
That's
honestly.
it. Like he walks through there, and then he becomes that just black figure with all the red swirls and stuff.
But as he's slowly, he's doing all these shitty deeds for the Emperor. Like he's slowly killing Anakin off, and he's getting more and more pushed into the dark side. That's where we start seeing the eyes change and everything. He has the epic battle with Obi-Wan on Mustafar, and Obi-Wan mutilates him at the end of it because of his arrogance.
I have high ground.
Yep, the high ground.
I hate you. I don't know why I give him a British accent, but
I do that with Tyler all the time. I'll go through the whole scene, like I'll stand on top of something.
You will try.
yeah, and I'll do it back. She's like, I have the high ground. I'll go, you will try.
And the motherfucker lights up like some tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
catches
I'm always
on fire,
Obi-Wan.
loses all his other limbs. I mean, he
He
still has his
also
robotic hand.
force chokes the crap out of Padme.
Yeah, oh yeah, that too. He, in all this and in his anger and stuff, he ends up being the one who kills Padme.
Because he thinks she's a. Is it that like her and Obi-Wan have something going on,
I think it's because
or
they're
she's
teamed
working
up.
with
Yes.
or Obi-Wan? Yeah,
Yeah.
Not because he really thinks, "Are you sleeping with Obi-Wan?"
yeah. You're
And that-
sleeping with my brother.
Obi-Wan knows that they're married. He knew pretty early on, and he kept it a secret. But
Shame on him.
so
Turn him in.
this is where we get into the famous, infamous black suit. That's amazing. But there's a whole bunch of shit that goes into, and this is kind of how, because like a lot of people are like, why don't fucking just Darth Vader clap Palpatine to be the ruler? Well, there's a lot of reasons behind that. So like when he gets picked up, he gets all the robotic limbs, and he's pretty much beyond repair, but Palpatine finds a way, and his whole suit is like a support system
It's
that
just life
keeps him alive.
support.
Yeah, there's life support. There's a whole bunch of things that go into his suit that keep him alive.
It's also extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, this is what we're gonna get into. What are you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say I read something about like that scene, which I think it's legends. It may not even be true. Like it could just be a part of one of the comics. But in that scene, like where he wakes up and is like screaming and everything's breaking, supposedly
It is.
he like
I know.
attacks Palpatine in that. Like he
I
slams
saw that.
Palpatine against the wall and starts trying to choke Palpatine because he's that angry and stuff like that. And Palpatine like
They should have
puts
added that into the
sits him
movie.
back down.
So
I mean, Palpatine ruined his life.
I know it's for the story, but I definitely feel like with the way their technology was and like how much they knew, Padme could have probably survived. Like
She died because of a broken heart. Tyler.
yeah,
a Bacta tank could fix a broken heart.
just throw her in there.
Yeah, put the little mask on and just let her float for a while. She'll be fine.
A good girls' night out, and she'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Get her with her friends.
Yeah.
They'll go out to the club.
But the suit, Vader's suit, there's little needles that interface with his skin, but it's extremely uncomfortable.
It just keeps him
in constant pain. Keeps him in constant pain. His respirator is purposely loud, so he's tired. He's in pain all the time. What does that lead to? Anger. So he's always angry, which makes him more powerful in the dark side.
It's just like old people.
That's why me and
Yeah.
Tyler are always angry.
Yeah, carrying around all this blubber.
Can't breathe. All this stuff. Like that. No, just kidding.
So all that, like, Palpatine all did this all on purpose, and then on top of that, he is Force lightning. He's susceptible to Force lightning. Like, that's kind of his weakness, and Palpatine knows that. And like,
You just
even though
shock
he
him.
could probably fucking clap Palpatine, he doesn't, because Palpatine could shock him, and then he'd be over with.
Yeah, trip all his breakers.
Yeah, that's-
one of the stormtroopers have to walk up, flip his cape up, open the breaker box to flip them all back on.
And on top of the physical pain, he has all the mental pain. Like, it's not just physical, it's mental. He's lost everybody. He's lost his wife and kids.
And it's because of him, but then ultimately it's really because of
And
Palpatine.
yeah, it's because of Palpatine, but also to another like weird abuse grooming thing. Palpatine's the only one that Vader has. That he knows and everything like that. So
And
that's
now he's the
also
only
part
one he
of
has
it.
left.
Yeah, he's the only one that he's has left. So that's also a part of why he doesn't take out Palpatine. Also, so he's got all this complex shit going on in his head. He's got a loud respirator. So this man is just always angry.
You know, I read a thing the other day that said that if you were to have like a real life Darth Vader, that his suit would cost like $18.3 million.
Oh yeah,
God.
that too. I forgot about that. Palpatine dies, which I mean, I guess he could take over what he was doing, but he might not have the funds because Vader can't take over Palpatine because Palpatine still runs the Senate. So Vader would lose everything, and that's including the maintenance and everything he needs on his suit. So there's a financial aspect on top of it. That man is just at the bottom of the bottom, the lowest of the low. Has to completely depend on Palpatine, or Sidious. That's what he was trying to achieve, and he did achieve that. So
Trevor,
that
are you trying to
also
make
did.
us empathize with Darth Vader here?
Yes.
Hey,
you're
he's
supposed to.
winning. He's winning me
Yes.
over, which
Was
I
that-
already was won over, but
You're redeeming yourself from the last Darth Vader debate.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
should've just
Because
did
we're
this.
not debating, and Trevor
Right.
doesn't have to worry about having
Yeah.
to come up
Trevor's
with the
like,
next point.
Vader's actually a great guy.
He's just been through so much. He's been through abuse. I mean, it is
really.
Yeah.
The more we talk about it, the more I relate.
I mean, he's been through an abusive relationship since he was the age of 9. Like, he's been manipulated, he's been groomed, all this, and the person that's doing it is the one that's holding all this over him.
And no
so.
matter what, he still follows him.
And I think this is why, like, you're not supposed to like villains, but this is why people, they don't like, you don't relate, you don't kill kids, I don't think so. But, that you can relate to the mental issues and, like, all the shit he's been through.
the anger.
From being, he's like the, not Aristotle. Is it Socrates? It's one of those two. But they came up with the thing, the tragic hero. And that's what Anakin is. He's the tragic hero. He had this tragic story that happened in his fall. But, I mean, he redeems himself in the end. I guess that's a matter of opinion, but he does.
Yeah, by yeeting somebody over a ledge.
Yeah,
Who-
yeeting his abuser over the edge.
Who
He
survives?
finally was free of him, and I mean, he was gonna die anyways, and that's kind of like the end of his story a little bit, which that's why a lot of people have problems with the prequels about bringing back Sidious because it completely undoes that whole story. With
Yeah.
It kind of just throws
Yeah.
Darth Vader out the window.
It makes it pointless, and
It does.
It does. I mean,
That's
they
my
shouldn't
biggest
have never-
gripe about it, and that's why I do not like them. And
I agree.
You took this great
I
character.
watched them, and I will watch them, but it's just like this is stupid.
I like them because, I mean, they're Star Wars and they add to the story some, but yeah, you're right. It totally just kind of takes away from the original stuff. Like,
this prophecy that was foretold, I don't know how long ago. I forgot the year, but this was by like Jedi ancients that a chosen one would be, and like this thing has been in people's minds, and it's been like the big overarching thing of it, and it just completely was thrown away when they brought Palpatine.
And then
And
they
it's
make
not
a
like-
force sensitive stormtrooper, and everybody gripes about that because like people
What?
would have noticed that stormtrooper was force sensitive, and it's just like
Not always, but-
stupid.
But no, but and it's like they didn't even leave any time in between, like them just saying "fuck the prophecy." It's like what 20 years, 30 years, and they're just like, "Oh well, Palpatine's back."
They
and
could have
he's
made
pulling all the
somebody else
strings.
up. Like, even if you had to make them related or something, but you should have kept. This was Vader's redeeming thing. This is what he was meant to do. This was his prophecy.
Well, the original prophecy George Lucas said in the interview was because he gave Disney 3 movies when he gave them Star Wars, or when they bought Star Wars from him, and it was the last 3 movies, and it turns out that, and the big bad man in those 3 movies is Darth Maul comes back, and the chosen one was really Leia, because she does something, but it all ends up with Leia was actually the chosen one, and it wasn't Luke. But
well, I feel like all 3 of them are like, because you could even take it like Luke is the chosen one because he's a Skywalker, and he like coaxes his dad back to the light side. He brings him back to the light side.
Would he bring balance to the Force?
Yeah, he brought balance to the Force by bringing his dad back over and eliminating, which I guess it does bring balance because now it's more towards the Jedi. Well, it kind of eliminates all of them because Luke doesn't even really follow the Jedi code. He doesn't like it because he saw like the flaws in it and what it led to. And
yeah, he tried to kill.
And like the whole thing about the Jedi is they're all, I mean, not all of them, but it was a corrupt system. And like a lot of people didn't think they should be in the war and they shouldn't be doing this and that. So
this might be beating a dead horse, but back to the Skywalker thing. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Rey is not a Skywalker.
Oh my god.
This is super angering to me.
Makes sense of a Palpatine is still something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you just revamp the Palpatine name?
That's pretty much it for Vader's story that I have right now. It's not a whole lot, but honestly, it's not like I've got other moments and stuff that like badass moments, which you might have heard them when in the debate, but now I just have them to where we can explain it now if you didn't hear the debate. But does anybody else have anything else that?
I was looking at the Vader comics today, and I have Kindle Unlimited, so it's like $10 a month, and you can get access to like this whole library. And the first Vader comic was on there, and I started reading it. I'm not a big comic person, but it was kind of cool because like all the artwork looks like the same people from the movies.
Yeah.
And like Boba Fett was in it and Jabba the Hutt was in it, and it was interesting to read and like kind of get into.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures and they're actually really dope. I really like the art style, especially how they make him like Vader and stuff. A lot of those moments, these badass moments and stuff, come from that because everybody kind of knows the movies, and the movies were also limited. Like that fight between last fight between Obi-Wan and Vader, which Vader won. They were limited to what they could do. Maybe that fight should have been a little bit more intense compared to like the 2 that we've seen. Yeah, but it was back then, so they couldn't do all that much.
Kenobi came out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And if they could do that fight with those 2 actors or whatever, like now, it'd probably be super dope.
Someone made there's Project something on YouTube, and you can watch where they
I saw that.
CGI'd the whole fight. It's pretty dope. It's kind of weird though, because like Obi-Wan's getting thrown up against a wall, and he just looks like an old man getting his butt beat. But it's pretty cool.
But it would make sense. I mean, like he puts up a fight, but Obi-Wan kind of knows what he needs to do then, and he knows that that's kind of like his end because he knows he needs to become a Force ghost for Luke and stuff like that. So
are the comics canon?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because it's like the rule is like 2014 and back, other than the movies, everything was put into legend. So all those comics that were made and stuff were put into legend.
Was Clone Wars thrown in the legend too?
No, Clone Wars is canon now.
The show?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, so what about the comics that have been made since?
I guess they're canon. I don't know exactly.
Okay.
But
Underrated, honestly. The Clone Wars show.
It's really not underrated. Everybody loves
Not
it.
now. But
Yeah, I know.
now.
Before it was. People kind of just thought that as a kid's show. But when I started watching it, once you get past the first couple seasons, it gets like...
Season 3.
Oh,
yeah, it gets
Season 3 gets
crazy.
Gets
it's really
intense.
good. If you haven't checked out the Clone Wars, you should check it out.
Yeah, if you have like any love for Star Wars, or I mean, you just like, yeah, Star Wars is pretty good. You will like this. I mean, it.
I watched a video the other day that popped up, and it was talking about the Clone Wars, and yes, it's a cartoon and stuff like that, but they were like, this show was not designed for kids after a certain point.
Yeah.
And it was showing all the death that happens, like people getting stabbed and sliced in half and everything that happens in the
That's
show.
exactly what I thought. When I was like, I guess I hit that season 3 mark, and it started getting real dark, and I was like, whoo.
I mean, it
changed the
literally
rating
shows,
on this thing.
like clones just getting dismembered by Jedis and things like, and it's like a whole thing.
What did that come on? Was it on like
Cartoon Network.
That's what I thought. I remember it being on when I was a kid, and y'all talking about it. I'm like, who would have ever thought that? It was fucking Cartoon Network.
It does get dark though. There's a lot of dark stuff.
That one-
Especially towards the end when Anakin's becoming Darth Vader, and he goes to that the 2 pyramids planet, where the Force is like
Dark and
generated
the light,
from.
yes.
And that is insane.
He goes back there.
I think so.
Oh,
I need to go. I haven't watched it.
well,
all.
he goes there, and then
I know I've watched the episode where they all like crash there, kind of.
Well, have y'all
that
seen?
was crazy.
We're
I was
getting
like,
on
this is-
to.
I was like, this is fucking. It's fine. I mean, I don't have a lot after this, so we.
No,
can-
but I was gonna
we
say
could
like,
make another episode about the Clone Wars show.
yeah, we definitely can. But one thing, did y'all get to the part with General Krill?
Yes.
That was like an intense, dark part in that show, and I was like, oh my god, this man was like purposely killing clones. It's a good show. You should just go watch it.
Yeah. Definitely go watch it. I will go over some of the Vader's like badass moments. If you listen to the debate, you probably heard some of these, but I'm just gonna go over them again because some people might not have listened to it. So one of them, and a lot of these are from the comics. I think they had the numbers of them, but this one was basically Vader knew about Luke, and like once he figured out, which he figures out in the comics, Boba Fett tells him that Luke is a Skywalker, and so like Darth Vader's like, well, just like the galaxy, he's gonna be mine too, like that, like a tense like. Vader is like, his one-liners are like amazing, if you think about it. They're like great. They're not like corny or cheesy. Like they're not like a
He's
Ryan
not a man of
Gosling.
many words, but he is a man of wise words.
He's not a Resident Evil.
Yeah, I was
4
gonna say
Leon.
Leon.
He's not a Leon one-liner, but he gets shot down and lands on the planet Vas, and it was like an old Jedi planet or whatever. But there's like a whole rebel base there. He gets shot down, and he gets surrounded, and they demand that he surrender. And he replies to him and says, "All I am is surrounded by fear and dead men." And then proceed. That's his one-liner, and then destroys all of them, kills all of them by himself.
It's kind of like Cody Brown's line. Oh my god! All I'm afraid of is poverty.
Marriage should be multiplied, not divided. I hate that.
So what we're saying is Cody Brown is Darth Vader.
I really wish we'd stop tying
Who the hell is Cody Brown?
the husband on Sister
Jesus
Wives.
Christ!
I've been obsessed. I'm sorry.
Oh my god!
This is why our podcast is so different. There's so many different cultures sitting in this one room.
I believe this is the same instant, but after he did that, he let Leia go get reinforcements, and then she brought him back, and he killed all the reinforcements.
Oh yeah, I've read that. Yeah.
Yeah, you go do that. And then she does. And then it's like, done.
Yeah.
Another one is, at one point, and this is non-canon, but it's still cool, and it's still dope as shit. So Darth Vader, he's on some planet. I think he's looking for the Death Star plans, the missing ones. And there is a dark cult that brought Maul back to life. And they brought Maul back to life because they believe that Darth Vader shouldn't be Darth Sidious's apprentice. And Maul said that it's because he was a Jedi, so he was tainted. He wasn't like a true Sith because he didn't grow up as a Sith. And like Maul questions and was like, "What can you hate? What can you hate so much that you can defeat me?" And Vader replied, "Myself." And then proceeded to stab himself through the torso and killed Maul in the process.
Oh my god!
Hell yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so that's another one-liner.
Darth
myself.
Maul's like, you can't be a baddie because you haven't always been a baddie.
He's
And
like, "Watch me."
wow.
And then the meditating thing in the chamber, we already went over that. We'll show pictures of that. He also single-handedly killed. He's still a great pilot, It doesn't really show it in the movies, but before the Rebels are, I think this is in Star Wars Rebels, but before the like Rebel Alliance is formed, there's a Phoenix Squad, and they're like a squadron of kind of like, they're not mercenaries, but they're like kind of resisting.
That's Rebels.
Yeah, and they've disrupted like multiple supply lines. They've taken out multiple TIE fighter squadrons. They're like the best squad out there. Darth Vader single-handedly takes them all out because he's just that good of a pilot.
Yeah.
He just goes in there by himself and shoots all of them down, kills all of them.
He'd also fly around Tatooine in a Star Destroyer and park that in the air and just jump out and kill all the Tusken Raiders and go back up.
Yeah, there's that too. If y'all have a story, then y'all say it like a badass moment, because he also does the long distance choking, which is dope. I guess Luke, like long distance, just stands there.
He got that Bluetooth.
Vader's like, I ain't got
force
time
choke.
for that. Yeah, let me just choke this man through a TV screen.
Yeah.
Also, he is one of the most dramatic villains. And if you think about it, he's very dramatic. Even in the movies, he's dramatic. You don't think about it until I started reading about it. And I was like, this man is
pretty dramatic.
He's a little drama queen. He loves some drama. One thing he does is he's like in space, standing there, which he can kind of survive in space because of his suit. And it's space, so there's no wind. Well, he purposely uses the Force to make his cape bellow. To make him look more badass.
Wow.
Well, he's a drama queen, which
real
it
proud.
makes sense if you know Anakin. Anakin was kind of dramatic. So
If
Darth
you're not
Vader is
with
too.
me, then you're against me.
That's like the
Or
whole
you're
choice
my
about
enemy.
putting Han in a carbon.
Yeah, they brought that too. Like, he made him like some ugly wall art.
Yeah.
Just because he's like, well, let's try this shit
You know,
out.
I could just kill you, but
Yeah.
instead I'm just gonna make you carbon and
Or
give you.
I could just give you to
away.
Boba Fett, and he can just lock you up and knock you out. But nah, we'll just put you in carbonite. Which, I mean, I guess he did it because he wanted to do that to Luke, but also he was going to release Luke because he wanted Luke to be on his side.
Sir, why don't we just kill Han Solo? Yeah, that's a good plan. Or we could put him in carbonite and hang him up on the wall at the Hutt's palace. Everybody's just like,
What?
well, we can't tell the man no, so give him what he wants.
Sir, we could literally cut off each individual toe and make him tell us whatever we want him to.
There's a part in Rebels. I haven't watched
That's
Rebels.
sick.
You've watched Rebels. Some of it, have
I've
you?
watched like 80% of it. I haven't finished.
Well, there's a part where like Ezra's doing something, and Darth Vader's like confronting him. So instead of just being like normal and just like regular, like walking up, like even that's dramatic. He could have just left it that. Darth Vader was like, "No, let me climb out on top of this TIE fighter and slowly rise down while riding the TIE fighter, controlling it
it's
with the Force."
Yeah, they're going after like a Sith holocron or something like that, and Vader beats him to it. And
That's what he does. He beats him to it. Instead, he's like silently, like he planned this out methodically. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get on top of this TIE fighter and slowly come down as a badass riding this thing. So they're like, what the fuck is he doing? I know there was like some
That's a-
stormtroopers like, what the fuck is he doing? Palpatine had to be looking like, golly, bro.
this is going into Rebels, but that is actually a pretty cool scene because Ahsoka's in Rebels and she confronts him at that point. Like that's the only reason Ezra even gets away.
Because they Ahsoka. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that. I've read that, so which is cool. The dinner, which talking about Bespin and putting Han in carbonite.
Yes.
Did I say that right?
Cloud City.
Yeah, Bespin. When he confronts them, he makes a whole fucking dinner at the
Yeah.
table. And he's sitting at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like he's eating.
They were,
He does
Pew.
say a one-liner, too, I
Sit.
think.
down, we're going to eat like a good family.
Yeah, I
Han,
think he
you'll
says-
say grace.
He says something like, nice
Yeah.
of you to join us or something like that. And it's like, this man had a whole dinner set up and everything. He had to tell him, like, all right, let's go to the dining room. Y'all put some food in there. Let's set up this dining room table. I'm going to sit at the end of it. You walk him in, and then I'm going to stand up and confront him.
Make sure you put extra gravy on Luke's. He likes that.
Yeah. I know he likes that. Yeah.
It's a father and son dinner. We're gonna make it perfect.
Yeah, Chewie, you can say grace.
He literally tells Luke that he's his father at the worst possible time that you could ever tell
You just
somebody.
cut his hand off.
He just
and,
cut
like,
his. He's hanging off a ledge. You cut his hand off, and you're like, "I'm your father, bro."
I'm your papa.
The hallway, of course, the hallway scene. That's dramatic. He didn't have to do all that, but he was like purposely swinging his lightsaber. I'm pretty sure, like over and stuff to create all these sparks and all this fucking chaos, so the people would be scared of him. Which he does it. He's doing it for dramatic effect to scare people, but also he doesn't need to do all that because his mere presence scares people. Like they don't even seen Vader before. They haven't even looked at him, been around him, but they know he's there.
Oh yeah, no, they're shitting their
his
pants.
Mere presence, and his power in the Force.
That'd be like a bully coming up to you like while he's lifting weights. Like just get ready. I'm about to beat the crap out of you.
He makes his temple on Mustafar, his like little temple living space on Mustafar, the place where he got cut down and everything. So he just stares at where he got fucked up by Obi-Wan the whole time.
That was it.
Dramatically.
Right there.
He walks out on his balcony, pulls his binoculars out.
Looks right where he's like,
Yeah.
he still sees his little imprint down there.
Yeah.
He's got like a little like shrine and stuff down there.
His legs are still down there.
He's
They're
got
just
the cross.
bones.
Yes.
Like people do on the edge of highway, rest in peace. But he's got like a cross out there.
For
he
his
has to look
legs.
at every time.
Yeah.
He's got 3 crosses out there for both of his legs and his arm.
And then in like the Obi-Wan series, he drags walking after him while Obi-Wan's kind of like trying to run away from him, and he like drags him into the fire, does all that dramatic shit.
Yeah.
And then that's all I got for dramatic stuff. If y'all can think of anything, I'm sure there's a fucking plethora of.
I saw one thing, but it's not really. It's more or less like has to do with the movies and stuff. I saw a thing where it says that Darth Vader wasn't necessarily going to be named Darth Vader. He was just originally going to be like a regular Imperial general, and he was going to be called General Vader, and he was going to be like Tarkin. And like was gonna kind of have like a feud with Tarkin and stuff like that, but that was in like the original script, and they changed it, which I thought was kind of weird. That you almost did like there almost wasn't a Darth Vader. It would have been called General Vader, but it wouldn't have even been the same thing. It just would have been a regular.
Well,
Imperial
he didn't
general.
even know that after New Hope was made and stuff. He didn't know that Vader was gonna be Luke and Leia's father. He didn't know that Luke and Leia were brother and sister at that point.
Yeah, I know, but
Like it's all he just did it as he went.
yeah.
Some one-liners. I'm just gonna say them because they're pretty great. As I was reading these, I was like thinking about him saying in the movies, and I was like, these are so great. Like the parts where he's talking in like the original trilogy, phenomenal. James Earl Jones. I said that right. I'll make sure I'm not getting stuff wrong.
I'll say this before you get into that. I know his voice is iconic and like that's Darth Vader's voice, but
Mufasa.
nothing about it is scary to me.
Oh, well, I love it. It's not like, I guess it would be scary. It's like a
Very careful.
silky
It's just
smooth.
not what you would think
Dims his fighting words.
Darth Vader would sound like this horrible, like scary person. Then it's James Earl Jones's voice. And you're like, okay.
I think
I like
it fits him pretty
Yeah,
well.
I do too, but I kind of like grew up and like love them. Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna say this. This is also a part of why he's awesome. He's my daughter's favorite character.
So
Yeah.
true.
Hell yeah.
She loves Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
She loves him. Like she loves Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers. Oh, and I was gonna say, I was thinking about this morning because I was thinking about like all the stuff I was gonna say. Darth Vader watches me shower every fucking day. Him and his Stormtroopers just sitting there judging me the whole time.
Watching Trevor
like-
hang some brain.
Yeah, I find your lack of length disturbing. I was thinking about that because he's like, that thing is like kind of like see-through. It's
Yeah.
not really, and I was like, this man just be staring at me the whole time.
Oh
I'm
my
showering.
god.
We should probably
Judging me?
clarify that it's a shower curtain.
Yeah, it's Erica. It's not just some weird ass Darth Vader man sitting in our bathroom. It's just shower curtain with like, it's like Darth Vader in the middle and stormtroopers around him, which is really dope, and I really like it. But he stares at me showering.
Hey, going back to Ari about what she got for Christmas.
Oh yeah, we got Katie's parents got her a Darth Vader mask, and it has like a voice changer and everything. And she loves to sit there and press the button, and it says one-liners, and then Ari repeats the one-liners. And it's kind of hilarious hearing Ari, like this sweet little girl, say these Darth Vader quotes.
Hey, so the other day she won't put the strap over the back of her head, but now she's gotten to the point where she'll just put it up to her face. And I was sitting in the living room playing the game, and she just kind of, the dark hallway, came down the hallway and like stood right at the edge to where the light could barely hit her, and she just started talking, and I was like, oh my god, child, you scared the shit out of me. Like, because the voice changer is like gargled, so.
At one point she was like, Scott, I am your father.
It was terrifying.
That's so cute.
What we need to do is we need to reenact the hallway scene, but just give her the unicorn lightsaber.
Yes.
I'm sure she would like that. But we could all be like the rebels. She's smacking us down.
We should all dress like the rebels from A New Hope, or from the original trilogy. Have like the 70s haircut and everything. And
Yeah.
Yeah, the little fucking motorcycle helmet things they got. Ridiculous.
just get a football helmet and take the.
Yeah.
There's some things, some of the one-liners. I find your lack of faith disturbing. That's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
The one where he says, when I left you, I was but a learner. Now I am the master. And then when he's like, I'm altering the deal. Pray that I don't alter it any further. That's a great fucking line when he sits there saying that to them. To Lando. Hey, he's as clumsy as he is stupid. I think that's about it.
Everything the light touches.
Wait,
Hold on.
wait. That's the wrong one.
Wrong father.
Oh, yeah. Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, director.
Oh my god.
That's a good one, too. I just love when he says shit. Because I remember I, like, rewatched it recently, and I was like, man, I love Darth Vader. This man's amazing.
I read something, too, which this may not be true. I don't know. That James Earl Jones almost wasn't the voice for Darth Vader.
It was almost the guy who played him.
Yeah.
He was almost going to sound Scottish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably really wouldn't have liked his voice then. They were
Yeah.
like, this sounds really stupid. That guy
Yeah.
actually was, like, pissed off and stuff. That they
Yeah,
didn't
well,
use him.
he had a huge feud with George Lucas and stuff because he was. I watched all the behind the scenes stuff for every single Star Wars movie made, and they were playing some clips of him talking through the suit and stuff, and he was like getting in it, like what he thought was like a Academy Award winning performance right there. But he still played Darth Vader all the way to the end, even because he's the guy that when you take off the mask, that's him. But in the original trilogy, when it first came out, it was that actor as Anakin's Force Ghost. And then they had the big beef thing because he wanted Darth Vader to be this way, but George Lucas was like, no. And so when they came out with the HD versions, they changed him with Hayden Christensen, and it was just
They changed him before that, too, because they used another actor.
Yeah,
when he was old.
Yeah.
He about kicked him out, or he kicked like that dude out of Star Wars and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm pretty sure, like, later on he came out and he was like, there's no, like, beef there or anything anymore. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, something like that. So,
Well, he
I guess
died.
no husband,
He's
but-
dead. So
Well, yeah.
One last thing I'll say, and this is also with the movies and stuff. I saw this thing that was talking about the inspiration for Darth Vader's helmet was actually from like samurais, and that's where George Lucas got the helmet, like the back of the helmet and stuff like that from, which
Makes
I thought
sense.
was kind of cool.
So,
You know,
I love how he looks.
Darth Vader and Anakin's lightsaber and Darth Vader's lightsaber is almost the same, isn't it? Just has some differences on it. It's the same kind of look.
I think.
Well, Anakin's lightsaber, the one that Luke has, was
that Rey has.
a handle for camera.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean they like
Right.
did some stuff to it, but it they took it off the handle of the camera and painted it and did some stuff to it and was like, "There's a lightsaber."
The comics also tackle when he made his own lightsaber.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Palpatine made his own, and like he had to bleed the Kyber crystal, and that means they had to like pump all their dark energy into it, and that bleeds it and makes it red and everything. And like in the comic, he's like holding it, and it's almost like exploding in his hands, and he has a vision of turning to the light side, but he like pushes that away and blocks it out and continues to bleed it, and he bleeds the crystal out, and that's how he gets his lightsaber. Is there anything to add to that?
With
No, that's what
making
I was gonna say.
lightsabers, it will not beat the Clone Wars. When my Wookiee boy makes his wooden lightsaber, and that is so cool.
Save it for the Clone Wars.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and I think this probably get cut, but I think he died. Does the Wookiee guy die? Jedi die or no?
He
I
doesn't
think
die
I heard
in
he
the-
does.
He may die like in the comics or anything
Yeah.
else, but I don't know.
Because I think he's going to pop up in the live action. One of them. He pops up in one of them. I saw some. I didn't save it. I should have saved it. But he pops up because he's like older and stuff, and he's supposed to be the Wookiee Jedi or whatever.
My favorite, I love, like,
I might be completely wrong about that. Don't take me all up that.
there's a lot of aesthetically pleasing stuff I find in, like, in any game when you're, like, in Old Republic, when you go get your crystal and you get your lightsaber, you go through all that. And then, like, watching the Clone Wars episode when all those younglings are getting their lightsabers and stuff and that robot's building it for them, it's just so cool. And in,
It's
like,
cool in Jedi,
Fallen Order,
yeah.
in Fallen Order, you can just design it any way you want to. And how it looks at the end is just awesome.
I feel like which I did what I think would fit Kyle Kestis the most, which I think canonically, it's just blue. He just has blue. But
I'm
think
saying green.
no, canonically it's blue.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's not
I
his
think it would be
lightsaber,
cooler because they had like that cyan, like the lighter blue. I think that he would have more of a lighter blue, in my opinion. I feel like the lighter blue than like the dark blue is what
I'm
Kyle
sorry.
Kestis would
I
have.
couldn't hold that.
It's fine.
Is he the first one to have a lightsaber that disconnects?
No, I don't think so.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I mean,
That's,
people
like,
were
awesome.
this is kind of getting off topic.
Sorry.
We're bleeding into other
about it,
episodes.
Thank you for listening to this episode. Everybody like, share, comment, subscribe. I already fucked it up.
Describe us. Tell us
Yeah,
what
describe
we're like.
us.
Keep it in.
Destroy us.
Kind of kinky.
But every click helps. Everything helps. Every share helps. Every like puts us in the algorithm. Yeah, we don't have a lot right now, but you never know. Enough likes could push us and more people would find us, and we can continue to build this into something that we want to. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, night, lunch, work day, weekend, whatever y'all are about to do whenever you're listening to this. And that's the end of this side quest.